In a small village in Kerala, India, a consecrated host became the center of a phenomenon that would capture the attention of believers worldwide. A priest celebrating Mass noticed a change on the Eucharist, a change that many would soon proclaim as a divine sign. But was it a true miracle, or is there another explanation? This is the story of the Eucharistic Miracle of Vilakkannur. Welcome to our channel. Today we're delving into the heart of a modern-day claim of a Eucharistic miracle in Vilakkannur, India. We'll present the evidence from all sides, and you can be the judge.
On November 15, 2013, at Christ the King Church in Vilakkannur, Father Thomas Pathikal was celebrating morning Mass. As he elevated the large host during the consecration, he noticed an unusual spot. As the Mass continued, this spot reportedly grew brighter and gradually formed into what witnesses described as the face of Jesus Christ. The priest, taken aback, showed the host to the sacristan, who confirmed seeing the image of a face. After the service, the news spread rapidly, and thousands of people flocked to the church to witness what many were calling a miracle. The district administration even had to intervene to manage the crowds that were blocking roads to the area.
An extraordinary claim, and one that the Catholic Church does not take lightly. What followed was a lengthy and detailed investigation.
3 days after the event, the host was taken from the parish for observation and theological study by the Archdiocese of Telecherry. For 5 years, it was kept at the Archbishop's residence and remained intact. In September 2018, the host was returned to Vilakkannur for public veneration, though the Archbishop at the time clarified that this did not yet constitute official recognition as a miracle. The Church's Theological Commission conducted extensive studies and found strong theological grounds to support it as a Eucharistic miracle. To further investigate, the host was sent to Rome in January 2020 for more analysis. As part of this, scientific tests were conducted at Christ University in Bangalore in 2024. These studies included Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy, high-performance liquid chromatography, and mass spectroscopy. The results reportedly confirmed that the image was composed of the same substance as the host, with no trace of any foreign material. Finally, in March 2025, the Vatican's Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith announced that there was no obstacle to recognizing the event as extraordinary. The official declaration of the Vilakkannur event as a Eucharistic miracle was made on May 31, 2025 by the Apostolic Nuncio to India, Archbishop Leopoldo Girelli, during a Mass attended by over 15,000 people.
So, to recap the evidence for this being a fact, we have the eyewitness testimony of the priest and others, the preservation of the host for years, a theological commission's approval, scientific tests that reportedly found no tampering, and finally, official recognition from the Vatican. For many, this is a clear and powerful sign of the divine. But in the spirit of seeking the full picture, we must ask, could there be other explanations?
One of the most common scientific explanations for seeing familiar patterns, especially faces, in random stimuli is a psychological phenomenon called pareidolia. Our brains are hardwired to recognize faces, so much so that we often see them in clouds, in the grain of a piece of wood, or even on a piece of toast. Skeptics might argue that a random discoloration on the host could have been interpreted as a face by people of deep faith who are primed to see religious figures. Another possibility that is often raised in the context of Eucharistic miracles is the presence of bacteria or mold. Specifically, a bacterium called Serratia marcensis is known to grow on starchy materials like bread and can produce a reddish pigment, making it appear as if the bread is bleeding.
However, it's important to note two things in the Vilakkannur case. Firstly, the image was described as a face, not as blood. And secondly, the scientific analysis conducted by the Church concluded that there were no foreign substances on the host, which would seem to rule out bacteria or mold. But what about other skeptical viewpoints?
While there hasn't been a widespread, independent scientific investigation to counter the Church's findings, some skepticism has been expressed. One report mentioned that some people dismissed the event as a ploy by the Archdiocese to raise funds. This cynical view, however, is not substantiated with direct evidence. It's also important to remember that the scientific testing was commissioned by the Church itself. For some critics of miraculous claims, this raises questions about the independence and impartiality of the investigation. Without access to the full scientific data and methodology for independent review, some will always maintain a degree of skepticism.
So, where does that leave us? On one hand, we have a series of events that, for the faithful, are a clear sign of God's presence. The testimony of the priest, the long-term preservation of the host, the thorough investigation by the Church, and the Vatican's official recognition all point towards a supernatural event. On the other hand, we have scientific and psychological principles like pareidolia that could offer alternative, natural explanations for such phenomena. The lack of a truly independent, secular investigation and the mention of cynical motives, however unsubstantiated, leave room for doubt for those who are skeptical. Ultimately, the question of whether the Eucharistic miracle of Vilakkannur is fact or fabrication may come down to one's own faith and perspective. The evidence is before you. What do you believe? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video informative, please like and subscribe for more explorations into fascinating events like this. Thanks for watching.